Hey, what is going on YouTube? LL Spanky here, back with another one of my more serious videos. This is the second time me trying to record this, so hopefully things go well. Um, but yeah, I've decided on what I'm going to call this series. It's kind of cheesy, but I thought the name was catchy enough. So, Serious Addictions, and this will be my second video on serious addictions, and it will be one thing I wish I knew while I was using. Well, not one thing. It's things actually I wish I knew while I was using. And first, because of somebody that I talked to in the con and basically I don't want to put their stuff out there, so just this is gonna there's gonna be a section that's gonna be advice I would give to someone who maybe who isn't dealing with the addiction themselves, but has loved ones who have fallen to addiction and maybe don't understand it. And the first and biggest thing that I really want to stress on this is that you need to never stop loving the addict. I understand it gets very difficult when, you know, honestly, they're not even the same person anymore. You feel like they're only ever using you and they're not trying to get better. It doesn't seem like they're getting better, and you're kind of giving up hope. So, a part of you is putting up this wall to protect yourself from the inevitable. And while I understand that every human has to have boundaries, and by all means you should have them, but it's very important not to create such a big wall that you completely shut them out, because once you do that, in all honesty, you are condemning that person to death. And I'm not trying to say it in a mean or rude way, but the thing about it is when you're really bad, if there, you know there's a part of you that wants to quit, so you're battling with that every day. And I'm sure they've made promises or said, this time will be different. And I want you to know that when they're saying that, they mean it. Like, they really, really want to quit. Like, once you see how much, like, basically not right away, but once a person sees how much control it has over them, that's when they start to want to quit. And by that point, it's too late. Like, if the physical sickness isn't bad enough, which I really think it is, and I definitely think that plays a factor, but I think the mental part is way worse and way stronger, and the physical part is already um, insanely strong. So to think that the mental part is that much worse is kind of crazy, but that's the reality of it. So if you completely shut them out, then their drive to quit gets even lower, because at the end of the day, they made these promises, they failed, they want to get better, right? They want to do the right thing, and then they fail at that, so then they're in more pain, so then they just reach for the only thing that they know, like heroin, because your life answer to everything. Bad day, boom, anything. No matter what it is, heroin could fix it, right? That's the policy of it. So I can see why, from the outside in, a lot of times you're thinking that they're not even trying. But I can tell you, at the very least, I'm sure that they're trying. How much? I can't really tell you that. I just think that it's very important that they remember that they're loved, because speaking from experience, how I felt nobody loved me, and nobody cared if I lived or died. And I said that in the first video, and that's how I felt, man. Like, it was so strong that even family members, like my father, my mother, I thought they didn't like me anymore, because now I'm the fucking junkie son. No one in my family did drugs, so I'm like the outcast. And I still am to some members of my family. I would say aunts and uncles are very, distant with me. We don't really conversate. There are a few, but for the most part, I've kind of been disowned. But the direct family, like my father, my mother, my grandfather, my grandmother, they never stopped loving me. But I thought they did. I thought they all just wanted a different son, and that I wasn't what they wanted, and that if they could, they would have got rid of me. At the end of the day, that's how I felt, especially when I was doing bad, right? When I couldn't see left from right, and when I was just straight broken. That's how I felt. And if you feel like that, you ain't ever gonna stop, man. And I wish I had the magic answer for that, but I don't. So, it's just I can't stress that enough. Love is gonna be the thing that saves them. Not guaranteed, but I bet you that's gonna be a factor. And then now the things, me personally, the main thing that I wish I knew while I was using was that there's more than life to this. And I know that sounds so simple, but no, you really don't understand. Like when you, eh, I'm sure there's a few out there who's really, really bad, and you know what it's like to think that this all my life is ever going to be, and you've kind of accepted that. You know, you failed so many times, you always run back, you get months sober, you get fucking whatever, and then you know you're right back in it, and then it's like you never stopped. And it's a battle that honestly most of us lose. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sober right now, but could I not be tomorrow? Sure. I'm not gonna lie. You know, that's the reality of our addiction. It can come at us at any point in time. Am I going to try and fight it? Am I going to do everything I can to make sure I'm not back at that point? Oh, you better believe I'm going to light a fire under me to make sure I don't do that. But at the end of the day, sometimes I lose, right? And sometimes you're going to lose. And that's how it works. And it's important to just keep moving forward, man. You know, fight every day and just try to do better. Try to see that light, because I know when you're in how you feel, you don't really think that there's ever another option for you. Like you really feel that way, and even when you get clean, you're gonna feel that way because you're gonna see that none of your friends trust you anymore. Like people aren't, you know, coming around. People aren't really a part of your life anymore, and you have to kind of just sit back and be like, whoa, you know, like where'd my life go? But eventually, dude, things will really start to get clear, man. And the one thing that I really firmly believe is the amount of years you spent using will be at least the amount of years you'll spend recovering until you can say you're normal. And I think it's probably going to be even longer than that. I think 10 years from now, I'm still going to be battling this as hard as I am now. And it's crazy because it consumes so much of my life. Like, I had to take very extreme measures, and if it wasn't for my family being supportive of me, I would be homeless for sure. Because um, I I don't really want to put my business out there, but um, I had to stay away from everybody, like people, friends, even work. Which I know for some people would never be possible, but luckily my family was super supportive, and they understand that the right thing for me to keep me off of that path is I can't work a regular job. I have to go find a job with meaning. Like I have to be able to like make counseling, teaching, like I have to be doing something fulfilling, or when I do have bad days or bad things happen to me, I will slip back into that, especially if I'm working a crappy 9 to 5 and I completely hate my life, and that's how it was for most of my jobs. So, I mean, I'm lucky in that aspect. That's way off topic. The point is it really does get better. And the key to me succeeding was my family backing me up. Okay? That was the key. And I always thought they were the enemy because of how they went about trying to help me. It never worked. It always made our relationship worse. It made me worse. And I think that's the problem, is it's really so hard to help an addict. At the end of the day, it's got to come from you, man. Like you have to see the light. And that's why this is the one thing that I really wish I knew. And what really bothers me the most is I can't give you guys the answer on how to find it. Like I can't tell you what it is. For it's different for everyone. And here's some ideas to get you into that right direction. Okay? Um First is the 12 steps. I'm going to say right off the bat it didn't work for me, but there's so many people that has helped. I even tried the I didn't do the full 90 meetings in 90 days, but that's what you were supposed to do, and yeah, that didn't last long at all. But those meetings, I would say the first rehab I went to really did help me, because that was the first time I was surrounded by people who got it. People who understood and really, because when no one else around you understands it, like that makes battling it so much harder, right? So I think being around those kinds of groups can actually really help someone. And then they have sponsors and things like that. And if you're actually a man about it and pick up that phone and call him, yo, he's gonna come to your house. Like, you ain't about to go get high. The only way you be getting high is if you snuck around behind their back. So I do think that people can get a lot of use out of that. And even though it didn't work for me, I'm not gonna advocate against it, because the reason it didn't work for me is a lot of the philosophies I didn't like. I couldn't, the few that I couldn't accept, and even all of them will tell you there'll be some like that, but you just kind of got to take it for what it is. I couldn't. Me personally, it's just, I, I don't know. I liked some of the people I met there. I'm not gonna lie though. Some of the most like people I'll never forget. I went through that because I connected with people who really understood it, and that helped a lot. So that's why I mention it. And then I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, and I'm just gonna say right now I'm not a religious person. So, but I've seen a lot of people saved by God. I've seen Jesus do a lot of good things, and I don't want to talk a lot about this because it seems to trigger a lot of people. But if you are someone who does believe, I think that that can also truly help you. I've seen countless people quit any addiction that they've had through God. But I mean, they honestly devote their lives to God. Like, I'm talking like these people, you know, they their happiness is God, and that works for them. And if that can work for you, man, go for it, dude. Because why not? Like, you're living a good life. You're helping people. Like, God's people are good people most of the time. So, for me personally, that's again, not really. I was born, and I grew up in a church. So, I was born of Christian values, but there's a few things about the religion that really bother me, that make it very hard for me to believe. Like, and I'll tell you the main one I've been like that I really struggle with. But I'm not trying to deter people away from this, so I guess I'm not going to. But there's just a few things about, um, you know, religion that just, I guess, don't settle right with me. So again, that didn't work for me. But um, what did work for me, and what truly made the most difference, is I'm a firm believer that a lot of us. I don't think you do drugs because you're happy. Let's just say this. I think if you do heroin, that you're overall not happy in life. I don't think that if you were happy, you would have the craving to do it. And there's an interesting study, which was a rat study, because at first they put a rat in a cage by himself with nothing but the drug, right? And he was by himself, so obviously he overdosed himself to death. Like, eventually he died from doing the drug too much. But then someone's like, wow, this is extremely flawed. Someone decided to make like a rat park and then put regular water and drug water, right? And he came to find that 90 some percent of the rats wouldn't even touch the drug water. And after they tried it, they didn't try it again. Okay? So what does that say? This says a lot about your surroundings, right? How you feel. Chances are, man, if you're using, you're in a bad place. All right? And that's the one thing you're probably not recognizing. A lot of the people around you, man, and I know you probably heard this, but they really aren't your friends. As soon as you change your life, man, as soon as you get clean, nobody's going to call you, nobody's going to write you, nobody's going to send to see if you're okay. I can promise you on everything, on everything, that they are not going to be there. There's going to be your real friends that were your friend before this happened. They might come around. Or the few that stuck by your side that whole time, they might come around, but those are not your heroin friends anyways. So I stand my point, man. They're just, even if you think that they're good people and you think that they really do care about you, as soon as you stop providing for them, they will no longer need you, and then they will. I mean, that's just the truth. I had to come to terms with that myself. So take a desire for change, all right? And then since the physical part really is that hard, I know you don't want to go to rehab, but I'll tell you what, my experience in rehab was fucking amazing. Um, they detoxed me, so the withdrawals weren't that bad, and then I met my really close friend that we still talk consistently there. That I don't know, man. He just got it. Me and him just linked, and he was about 30 some years old. 32 at the time. I was a young buck. I was only 21. You know what I mean? And so he kind of like took me under his wing, and he really opened my eyes to what it was. And he was like one of the few real people that was there. So unfortunately, I can't really say if that's. I think it is good if you're ready for it, but if you're not, then obviously don't go. But what I want you to do when you go there is they're gonna preach the 12 steps. They're gonna like force you into their program. I want you now to work on your mind. I want all of your free time to be spent figuring out why you're sad and how to shut your brain off. Those are keys. Alright, because I've not found the key to happiness, but I found the key to shut up. It don't matter. I take it one day at a time, man. Why worry about tomorrow? Because all we have is today. All these thought processes took a very long time. Like for me, months. So it's something that you also have to keep up on after you would get out of rehab if you choose to do so. But at the end of the day, you have to make a change, man. And you have to really sit down and think about, at the end of the day, you probably won't do that. So I just hope, someone out there can see that there really is light at the end of that tunnel. And if you need any advice or any help, if there's family members who want to try to find a way to communicate, or if you got certain questions you want to ask, that's what this channel's about. I'm just trying to help somebody. I'm just trying to help one or two people along the way. If I do, that's great. That's amazing. And if I help more, oh my God, that's that's a dream come true. Because I don't want this experience that I've lived to be for nothing. Because if this is my life, then I failed. So I need to find a way to make this experience positive. So here I am, and that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully we can get this channel to grow. But I hate to be that guy, but if you did enjoy the video, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any more. I also stream games on Twitch, mainly League of Legends, Apex Legends, and Fortnite. And you can find me on twitch.tv/LLSpanky. And last but not least is my Twitter. So it's twitter.com/Hankasaurusrex underscore, all one word. But I'll put all the links to my socials in the description. So please, man, I hope I'm able to reach somebody. And at the very least, man, enjoy your guys' day. And, I love you guys. Peace.